Hey friends, hope you're doing well. Hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. I kind of like almost forgot that it was Thanksgiving. There's so much going on. I was half paying attention, and I feel like the holidays come like that, right? But I just want to come on and say happy Thanksgiving. I hope everyone enjoyed their day. I hope your bellies aren't hurting too much. It's funny because I was going to totally fast and I almost did. I was like, well, everybody's feasting. I'll just go into famine. But I had such a long day and I worked my body so hard yesterday that I ended up eating a little bit of grass-fed beef later in the day. But I had every intention of fasting. I went for an awesome hike in Bent Creek Experiential Forest in Asheville. That was my first time there. Saw my first black bear. Came right up on me and got scared. And thank God it wasn't a big one, for my first time. Like, I feel like the universe, God, started me out slow. It wasn't a cub, but it wasn't like a full-sized grown black bear. He is super cute too. And he scared the hell out of me. I scared the hell out of him. My bear spray was on the back of my pack. And I unhooked that sucker right away, got my bear spray, put it in the front. I mean, I know black bears normally are, mostly harmless, but just in case you ever come across a mama bear and her cubs. And I know black bear sightings are more prevalent in Asheville, especially, I heard about Bend Creek and the black bears. Because I really don't ever see them anywhere else that I go. Pisgah, DuPont, there was one in Bracken Preserve one day, but I didn't see it. I was there that day, though. I did sense it, but I didn't see it. And yeah, so that was interesting. He was a cute little fella. And then I worked. I taught 2 classes. So the hike wasn't super vigorous, but it was enough. And I got an early start, and that was my Thanksgiving. And then I wound up binging a show on Netflix because I just didn't want to do anything. I'm like in classes, getting a certification, and I signed up for this breathing class, Breathing for Hikers, by this awesome guy. I will share his information in another video, but I believe his Instagram is Chase Mountains, and he's a really cool dude. I can't talk. Cool dude. And yeah. So I'm eager to get on that and listen to that. And then I'm in this brain, like healthy brain summit, and I'm like so behind. It's like day 4, and I don't even know, because I feel like time is just flying by. Plus, I'm in the process of moving. So I narrowed it down to 2. I'm either moving to Fletcher or Asheville, which is really weird because I had never, ever, ever had any desire to move to Asheville. I like the smaller, like more homegrown grassroots towns like Brevard, and I love Cedar Mountain. I'd give anything to move to Cedar Mountain or even into Pisgah Forest. So people don't realize, and I don't know if I've ever clarified this, you go to Pisgah Forest to hike, but there's actually a town, Pisgah Forest. Like, I work in Pisgah Forest. It is Pisgah Forest, North Carolina. They have their own zip code. They have a post office, and it's a cute little town. But yeah, so either Fletcher, which, wasn't my favorite. The Asheville place is gorgeous and way more up my alley, but Asheville kind of can give me an aneurysm sometimes because it can get super congested. It's much larger scale. So I don't know. I have a few decisions to make. So that's probably why I half forgot that it was Thanksgiving. But anyway, it's funny because I never understood, even as a kid, why is there just one day focused on giving thanks? And we say this, that whole cliche thing, every day you should be grateful for at least something. And we really should. And, a lot of times, which there's nothing inherently wrong with this, but when we, pray, we're usually praying out of suffering and strife and grief and hardship. And we don't ever really pray from a space of gratitude. And So what that could look like, and it's something that I try to be more mindful of and practice, like with my home situation. It's like, thank you for bringing me a home, that's safe and secure and peaceful, and that's for my highest good. A home where I'm going to flourish and feel really good, and where my health and vitality is going to thrive, and my finances are going to improve. And so praying from that space of like, thank you for bringing me in the friendships that are going to enlighten me and that are going to motivate and inspire me. And thank you for the new job opportunities that are kind of like, whatever, fuel my purpose and my passion and be lucrative, and a job opportunity where I could, be of service, but get paid really well for my skills, gifts, and talents. And so praying from a space of thankfulness and gratitude, I think, is really powerful. Again, when you're down and out and you're saying like, God or whoever you're praying to, like, life is shit right now and I'm miserable and I need help, that's also a very powerful prayer, and it has its place. And we've all been there, right? I remember going through some really hard times years and years back, and one of my dear friends at that time, and I'm so grateful for her. We had a friendship for over 10 years and we've kind of lost touch, and that's more on me, for various reasons. And I love her dearly and I think about her all the time. And in no way was it a pulling apart, like with animosity or with anger. She was a savior for me for a long time. And I was going through a really hard time, and I remember her saying, I was forcing myself to feel grateful all the time, especially during yoga teacher training. There was a lot of spiritual bypassing. I've talked about this. Again, this is in no way, shape, or form to throw my teacher, the school, yoga, or spiritual principles under the bus. But I think you need to be very practical and grounded and pragmatic within that framework. And that's why I like blending the clinical with the spiritual, because I think when you are too much in one or too much of the other, it's dangerous. I really do feel that. I've seen it. I've seen so much harm with like psychiatrists just shoving pharmaceuticals down somebody's throat with no spiritual or faith-based harness. Just believing in something bigger than yourself, or believing that something benevolent is on your side. It's like, just take this medicine and you're going to be beholden to this for the rest of your life. And you have this awful chronic condition and there's no cure for it. And this is just, you have to deal with it. And it's like, well, there is this there is this plane of reality where miracles are born and miracles happen. There are multiple realities, and there are a ton of different possibilities in outcomes. I don't believe that we're beholden to one kind of timeline, but within all that, you have to be very grounded and pragmatic. But I remember her saying to me, you don't have to be thankful. You don't have to force yourself to be thankful. When I was in teacher training, and even after, for years, it was like, you're not allowed to be angry, and it's just a poison that you, what's the stupid saying? I don't know. It always drove me crazy. It's like a poison that you drink, whatever, what I can't even remember. That's probably because I freaking hate that saying so much. It's like a poison that you drink hoping the other person will suffer or whatever. But I was really in this place of like Pollyanna positivity, stuffing all of my feelings down, not admitting to myself what I really wanted or how much I was hurting. And, I felt and this is odd for me because I'm very much my own person. And if I don't want to do something, I don't want to do something. But this is what I'm talking about. When you are so vulnerable, you want to talk about being vulnerable. My outsides, I felt like were completely exposed. I felt like everybody could see the angst and the grief and the emotional distress. Like it was like I was, my emotions were outside of my body. And just, I felt like, I look back and like every vulture came in, because there are certain personalities that are very attracted to that. I often say I was a fixer. And oftentimes that was really, really well intentioned, but there is an aspect of superiority to that people don't like to admit. And it can be from a place of ego and not heart-centered. And I didn't realize that. I was hurting so much that I just decided to make it my job to fix and help everybody else. And I was saying that it was from a place of service, but it was really from a place of inferiority. And a lot of people aren't going to admit that to you because it sounds shitty. And it sounds, it's a little shameful. On my part, I look back and I go, oh, I see what I did to that person. I acted like I was helping them. And inside I believed that, but it was really because I was such a shell of a person and I wanted to feel better about myself. And feeling better about myself meant that, I'm going to put all of my energy and time into making you my project because I feel so crappy about myself. I don't want to focus on myself. I'm going to focus on you. And they talk a lot about this in Al-Anon, maybe not so much in that language, but there is a place of superiority. I'm so much better than you. I know so much more better than you. I know so much more than you. Follow me, follow my lead, listen to me. And a lot of people came into my life at that time when I was down and out the most, who really took advantage of my vulnerability. And I don't begrudge them. It was part of the process. And it really helped me to build inner resilience. And it really helped me to dive deeper into myself. I realized eventually that I needed to focus on me. And we often feel selfish, especially if you do like being of service and you are a helper. And I've always felt that was me. You really feel like, oh, this is super awkward. I don't want to focus on myself. I feel selfish. And it wasn't selfishness. It was really self-preservation. And so I was forcing myself constantly for years to be in this place of gratitude when I didn't feel grateful. And I think it's really important. And if you have a good clinician that you're working with in the mental health field, they should be telling you this. You don't have to be grateful all the time. You absolutely can say, this is crap. I hate my life right now. I hate how this feels. I feel like I have everything coming at me and I can't come up for a breath. This is miserable. And then you can actually get to the gratitude quicker and it's more accessible through that doorway and avenue versus pretending like, oh, this, okay, like, oh, higher perspective. I'm so spiritual. I'm going to rise above. I'm the eagle. I'm the phoenix rising from the ashes. It's okay that all this is happening. It's okay. I feel like I'm dying inside. I'm just going to put a smile on and project that I'm super happy and not fazed by any of this. That's dangerous. That's bypassing the human experience, really. In the spiritual world, they call it spiritual bypassing. And so I stopped forcing gratitude. And now I can honestly say that I'm in an authentic, genuine space of gratitude. Am I grateful right now that I have to move again? And this is like the 19th time that I'm moving. I've been in Brevard for 6 months. I have moved more times in the last 2.5 years of my life than you could ever fathom. I've lived all over South Carolina. I've lived in Columbus, North Carolina, Brevard. Now I'm moving again. So I'm already going to be living in 3 places in Brevard in less than 8 months' time. Like, it's a lot. I didn't expect this. I don't feel grateful for it. However, in the process of this, I've met some angels along the way who've been extremely helpful. It has helped me access deeper friendships with some people within my job, where now I have like actual girlfriends that I could go out and do things with. And I do understand that it serves a purpose, and I'm not saying that out loud as something to say to bypass. I actually believe it, and I actually feel it. And I can find a million other things to be grateful for, even though there's a little bit of chaos and duress in my life, genuinely and authentically. There's no faking it until you make it. There are people who are really good at that. And I used to envy it, and it's good for you. I can't do it. Like, it's all over my face, always. It's not that I intentionally walk around with wearing my emotions on my sleeve, but I am just so genuinely me, and I can't hide it. I just can't. I physically can't do it. I try, you'll see right through me. So I don't know how to fake it until I make it, but I can feel it. And then I've learned to navigate and move through those feelings. And I think that is an ultimate life skill. And I think a lot of people are walking around disassociated and disconnected from their feelings because they're too busy trying to fake it until they make it, or fake certain emotions. And that could be because they don't want to bring their friends their pain. They don't want to bring family their pain. There's a whole host of reasons why people do that. But I think it's really a good idea to be very genuine in your emotions and work to get to more of an authentic space, than just putting this, it's like wearing plastic all day. It's like you might as well have had plastic surgery. But anyway, I know that was like a super lengthy explanation of what I wanted to talk about, and I kind of got into the weeds a little bit, but I hope that you were able to find things that you were genuinely authentic for, authentically thankful for. I'm really like, I'm here, but I'm not here. You know what I mean? Genuinely authentic gratitude. And even in deep hardship, I believe that there's something. Like, at least right now, I have a home. I have a roof over my head. I have hot water. I have access to a kitchen to cook. Right now, I'm washing my bedding. I'm doing laundry. Like, I have luxuries right now, even though things might be a little bit challenging or up in the air. And so I hope, I feel like I just spewed, like, I'm not saying nonsensical things, but it just, yeah, I don't know, whatever. What are you going to do with me, right? I hope you have an amazing day. I am grateful for my 55 subscribers. I joke all the time, there are people who, like, you all know that I have no desire to be like this famous influencer. The whole influence thing, whatever. But you talk to people who like really want to get famous, like that's their goal, which is great. I get it. Some people are born for stardom. They really are. Like, a Kevin Hart, comedian, or, Carrie Underwood, singer. So there's people, Jim Carrey, actor, like they were born to do what they do. And yeah, I have no desire for that. But they go back to how their life was. You're working so hard to get famous, and then it happens and they're like, oh my God, this is not what I thought it would be. And it's overwhelming, and you lose so much privacy, and you can lose your identity in that. So I'm grateful for my 55 subscribers. I don't know who watches, I don't know who listens, but I truly am really grateful for you all. And I feel like I have some important wisdom to share, and this is one small avenue, and maybe the channel will continue to grow and maybe it won't, but I am grateful. Thank you.